Coach Jeff Morgan, Randy Johnson, and Nickname 101. What does all that equal? The Halloween edition of The Rant. Stay tuned.
Jeremy, man, wipe off them tears, bro.
Thank you for joining us here on The Rant on Channel 16, the only sports show where we bring you sports reporting with personality. The Rant is the longest running TV show on TV 16 other than Live at 5, which is the communications department's flagship TV show. But I'm your host, Jeremy Writt, alongside Josh Davidson, Mace Thomas, and Brad Bellamy. We make up 4/5 of The Rant, along with Scott Smith, who will be on a little bit later. But this week we're talking about Randy Johnson. He is the bonus or bogus topic. Randy Johnson, starting pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks in the National League. And we want to know whether we think it's a bonus or bogus. We'd like to know what you think. We'll give you a chance when we show up the email later on in the show. But right now, Josh, is he a bonus or a bogus?
Well, Jeremy, I would definitely have to say that Randy Johnson is a bonus. A bonus because, well, he proved himself. And that's what you get. You get to step up because he's been a bogus for all these other years when he's been working with the Diamondbacks and the Mariners. He just couldn't seem to get things done. They were talking about how he couldn't get over the hump. He couldn't get over the lump, whatever you want to call it. Finally, he is in the World Series. Finally, Randy Johnson has a chance to prove himself. So, yes, he is a bonus. He's made it thus far. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a bonus.
For me, I would definitely give Johnson a bonus. I mean, of course, he's an asset to this Arizona Diamondback team. Since becoming a member of the team, he's had outstanding numbers. And granted, his batting isn't that good, but on the pitching side of the field, he's been doing awesome. And he's big. He's one of the best pitchers in the game. Randy Johnson, you get a bonus from me.
So we have two bonuses, so back with Brad's take and my take after these messages. The Rant is brought to you in part by D&B Mini Warehouses, located on 1560 West Searcy Street, just 2 miles east of Harding University. D&B Mini Warehouses, local people serving the local community. Thank you for tuning in to The Rant. Mace, your behavior is unacceptable. And also unacceptable is some of the technical difficulties that we're having right now. We apologize for that, but if you're just tuning in, this week our bonus or bogus topic is Randy Johnson, the pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Before the break, Josh and Mace both gave him a bonus. Brad, it's your turn. What do you think?
First off, I want to apologize for Mace's hunger display on the booth. He's definitely ready for some chicken quesadillas from Taco Bell. But back to Randy Johnson, he is the best player right now in Major League Baseball as far as from the pitcher's mound goes. He can't hit it all, but it doesn't really matter when you're only giving up 2 runs a game. Strikeout-wise, no one, his comparison to Nolan Ryan. And as far as intimidation factor goes, look at the guy. He's horribly ugly. Over a couple years ago where he almost hit John Kruk in the head, and then Larry Walker decided to box. And Randy Johnson, that's scary. Larry Johnson's scary too. But Randy Johnson, he
bonus line. I give Randy Johnson a bonus also. And now, Brad, I agree with you. He is an ugly man, and he kind of reminds me of a Halloween mask when I see him up there on the mound. But that doesn't matter. As Mace said, his stats speak for himself. This year, he had a 2.49 ERA, and he had 372 strikeouts. That's ridiculous. And in October, when it matters, he's had a 1.29 ERA this year. That's exactly what you need when you're the Diamondbacks and your offense, your hitting is quite anemic. Now, as you said, he's an ugly man. He reminds me of Miss Thomas when she showed up for Pants Weekend last week during the football season. That's okay. As long as you're wrecking it on the mound like I just wrecked it up here on the booth, it's all good. So, Randy, you get a bonus. Miss Thomas, you get Miss Avon.
Hey, I appreciate you on that, Jeremy. Of Halloween, he's over here dressed up as a candy cane.
Jeremy just signed a new contract. He's the new Noxzema girl.
I know, he ain't talking. He trying to call Randy Johnson ugly. You ain't got to sit next to him. Look at this dude.
We're not going to talk about ugly.
How long has it been since you shaved because all that nasty white?
We're getting a little bit out of hand right now, just like the button on Brad's jacket got off his
yeah, it's
coat last
gone.
week. He's
Anybody out there that knows how to sew,
it.
please
yes,
let me know. I need somebody bad.
Please email us at therant16@hotmail.com and fix Brad's
Back
jacket.
to the whole topic of bonus or bogus. Randy Johnson, something that was not mentioned is that he up until these last 2 games, he's had a very poor postseason record. And if you were ever going to knock on the guy, that would be it. But now, after his 2 performances against Atlanta, you can't knock on his postseason performance. He drilled the Braves, and the Braves could not hit off of him, period. So Randy Johnson is by far the best player in Major League Baseball. And I think the only reason that Jeremy went with the bonus bogus of Randy Johnson for this week is because it was a Halloween episode.
Well, actually, I brought him up because he's kind of analogous to Barry Bonds, one of our old bonus or bogus topics. What's a bogus? Bonus or bogus topics, because they both hadn't proven their worth in the playoffs. Now, as you alluded to, Brad, he'd been 0-7 in the playoffs before this year. Now he's on a 2-game winning streak. He's gotten that monkey off his back. He's shown that he is a primetime player, but he's been played throughout the playoffs, throughout his career, with poor hitting when he's starting for his teams. I mean, they just don't hit. He doesn't get any run support. That's not his fault. He's shown that now. And one of the players who's had to play against him, Chipper Jones, said in an interview, the people who are talking about Randy Johnson can't pitch in the postseason don't have to actually get in the batter's box. And that goes to show you how good he is. He's getting respect from players around the league, and he's also getting respect from us here on the panel because we all gave him a bonus. Now, the next segment called the Jeff Morgan of the men's basketball team. Welcome to the Rant Scope. My guest this week is Coach Jeff Morgan, head coach of the men's basketball team here at Arden. And Coach Morgan, you're one of the first interviewees, or first guests of the show, actually the second ever, so we have lots of love for you here on the Rant. But what's changed since the last time you've been on the show?
Well, Jeremy, I don't know. We just tried to get out and recruit some good players over the summer and over the spring, and I think we've been able to do that. We've brought in 6 or 7 new guys that we really feel like are going to be able to help us. 4 junior college players, one of them a post player, and then we try to go out and get some bigger guards to go along with our smaller guards like Darren McCrillis and Aaron Farley. Those guys are awfully good offensively, and we tried to go out and get a couple of bigger guards that can help us defensively with some matchups. We felt like that was one of our weaknesses last year, and hopefully those guys will really be able to help us coming in this year.
All right. Now, everyone knows about the discipline issues that happened earlier on this semester. How has that affected the team? I mean, everyone's seen it as an outsider kind of view, but how's that affecting the team?
Well, I've been really, really proud of our guys. They've had a great attitude about it all. They haven't had any animosity, towards Harding or try to place any blame or anything like that. We all hurt, and we hurt for those young men who made the choices they made. And like I told our team, we hurt for them more than they should hurt for us, because we're going to go on. We're going to work extremely hard, and that's what our guys have continued to do. The new guys that are here, and we're down to 10 players, but they've just continued to work extremely hard, and they haven't seen it as a negative at all. They're ready to go out and do whatever we need to do to win games and get as good as we can.
Now, can the expelled players come back to the team next semester, or?
Well, it was school policy. They all have the right to reapply for admission, and a lot of that we're just basing on right now. What I told them is they need to go home and they need to spend some serious time thinking about whether or not they really want to be at Harding. If these are things that they want to continue in their lives, then they don't need to be here. But if they're willing to make changes, and that's one of the reasons why I love the Harding's policy the way it is, because it really forces you to make a decision. Do you want to get these things out of your life? Do you want to make changes? Or if you want to continue in those ways, then you don't need to be here, and we'll do whatever we can to help you. So far, every one of the young men has seen it and I've seen it as the best thing to ever happen to them, because so far every one of them have had a great attitude about it. They've been very humbled. They're very remorseful. They're very sorry for the position they put us in as a team. They're very sorry to the student body for how they represent the student body, and they're sorry for the mistakes they've made, and they're doing everything they can to make things right. I told them once they decide that Harding is really where they want to be, then they need to verbalize that to me, and then we'll make a decision on whether we want them back or not. And so far, all of them have verbalized that to me, so we're going to try to meet with the parents here in the next week or two, meet with all the parents, all the players involved, and say, okay, if this is going to happen, here are the things that are going to be in place, and here's the things you're going to have to do to make this happen.
That's great news about their attitudes about the changes that they need to make.
They really have, and I can honestly sit here and tell you that it has been a huge positive for every one of those young men. I mean, it's been, in the long run, it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to our program. And we've had a lot to talk about over the last couple of days and weeks with our players, with our team, with those parents, with the players who've been disciplined. And I can honestly say there's been a great turnaround in each one of them. And I expect very good things out of them when they come back, not just on the basketball floor, but off the floor as leaders and as people who hopefully will now try to make a difference on this campus for what's right.
Okay, now from kind of switch gears from a business standpoint, what happens to the scholarship money that these players were receiving? Does that go back into a pool or?
Well, it kind of goes back to us, and then we're able to use it however we need to in the spring. And of course, not all of the guys who were involved in this were on full scholarships.
Okay.
And so we'll get some of those guys back to where they were and help the other ones out like we can. But there may be, I really haven't decided yet, but there may be some other things that go involved. There's certainly going to be some other things off the floor as far as things they're going to have to lift up to. And I haven't decided, in the past, we've dealt with guys as far as checking out on the weekends, not allowing them to do that, having a more stricter curfew, just holding them a lot more accountable off the floor for a semester until they can prove themselves and gain some of that trust back.
You said these are decisions to come. You haven't decided what exactly you're going to do?
No, we're going to try to get with all the parents here in the next week or so, and before I meet with all the parents, I'm going to have it outlined. Here's everything that they're going to have to do to make this happen.
Okay. Now, has this changed your expectations for the season, or what are your expectations for this season?
Well, the first thing we always talk about is winning at home. And if we can win our home games, especially when it gets to conference play, our overall goal is to be as good as we can and get ourselves in position when we can get to the conference tournament. If we can put ourselves in the top 4 in the conference to where we can get to the conference tournament, that means we've put ourselves in a position to win the conference championship. If we can get to the conference tournament, we got a chance to go win it. If you got a chance to do that, then you've got a chance to advance to NCAA tournament play. So we first of all talk about let's make the top 4 in the conference so that we can have a chance to go to the conference tournament.
What would you say your biggest obstacle is as far as that possibly not happening? Like, what could keep you from?
Well, I think early in the year depth is going to be a concern. We have 10 guys, 7 of those guys are on scholarship, 3 of those guys are walk-ons. So obviously, first semester depth is going to be a concern, and our size. We're down to 2 post players, with Michael Jackson and Chad Ware not being with us, and then Jay Brogdon being a 6'7" guard can kind of play inside and out. So obviously our inside depth is going to be a concern. We've had to tinker with things a little bit offensively, but so far the way things are going, I think we're going to be able to put a real exciting team to watch on the floor. We're going to really be able to get up and down the floor, and I think we're really going to be able to get up and put pressure on people.
So you think you guys are going to go more towards like a speed game while the big post players are gone, or is that going to be like a philosophy change even after they?
Well, we've always tried to be pretty up tempo, and when you've got 2 guys like Darren McCrillis and Aaron Farley who can really get it up and down the floor in a hurry, you'd like to use what they do best.
Yeah, Aaron,
one of the things they do best is get the ball up and down the floor in a hurry, and they usually make pretty good decisions when they're doing that. And we've tried to surround them with some real good shooters. This may be the best shooting team we've ever had, and so we hope to be able to continue. Last year we led the conference in scoring. Hopefully we'll be able to continue on that pace. Where we're trying to get better is just making a few more stops defensively.
Okay. Now, sometimes during the games, I'll peek over at the coach, and just kind of look and see what's in your eyes. You always have that little fire in your eyes. What's going through your head during the game?
Well, you know, as much as anything, I know Coach Kirby and I both, we're not that old that we wouldn't love to be out there with them. You know, I mean, there's a strong desire on our part to be out there competing and playing and all that. And I had back surgery in May. You know, last year was a pretty miserable year for my health, and I had that back pain for 5 months that was just knocked me out for a long time. And I feel better now than I've felt in 2 years. And so I think you're going to see even more intensity in our eyes and on the sideline. And we've got a lot of enthusiasm right now. And like I said, we're not old enough that we just don't really want to get out there and play. So that's probably what you see. We'd love to be out there just fighting it out with them.
Well, we're glad to hear it, and we wish you most good luck this week and in the season, Coach.
All right. Appreciate you guys in the Rant.
Stay tuned to the rest of the show here on TV 16. It's now time for Rant Down the Line on today's show, and the Rant Down the Line gets the award for most improved segment, due mostly to a very large mammal who is covered partially by red hair. His name is Scott Smith. Here's Scott with Rant Down the Line.
Welcome to Rant Down the Line. I'm Scott Smith. Starting things off, some college football programs could be in jeopardy of losing their Division 1A status. The NCAA has been discussing plans to adjust the membership guidelines for 1A schools. If approved, the measure could take action as soon as 2004. Among the schools listed as possibly at risk are schools such as Kent State, Utah State, Middle Tennessee, North Texas, Boise State, and the entire MAC, the Mid-American Conference. Along with these prestigious football powerhouses is your very own Arkansas State Indians. Many feel that the only reason Arkansas State has managed to remain D1A so long is that many of the Indian fan base is unaware that there's a better team in the state for them to cheer for. That's right, I'm talking about the Henderson State Reddies. In the PBA, the Professional Bowling Association, and yes, this is an actual sport, Pete Weber won the Great Lakes Classic at Spectrum Lanes Tuesday night. This win put him in 6th place for all-time wins, tied with his father, the legendary Dick Weber. Pete stated, "Now Pete Weber and Dick Weber can be mentioned in the same category. I'd like to take a moment to demonstrate to the viewer at home how these two might be mentioned together." Yeah, so that Pete and Dick are something else, aren't they? What do they do again? Okay, in boxing, Iron Mike Tyson took on heavyweight foe Brian Nielsen 2 weeks ago. The match was touted as being another great return to boxing. As many watched the match via Showtime and tuned in to witness an easy Tyson victory, these mismatches have become somewhat frequent in Tyson's recent years, which makes it that much more amazing that people actually paid to watch this event in person. I mean, come on, did anyone actually think that Tyson stood a chance of losing this match? Nielsen's nickname is the Danish Pastry, for goodness sakes. I mean, imagine if he had lost, having to tell all his friends he lost to the Danish Pastry. That would be, alone would be enough to propel anyone to win. I mean, I wouldn't want to lose to a Danish Pastry. Whatever happened to cool nicknames like the Brown Bomber, the Real Deal, the Hitman, Hands of Stone, the Bayonne Bleeder? The list goes on and on. Now all we have left is food monikers. I can see it now. Scott, the vanilla bundt cake with a lemon twist. Smith. And popular horse racing jockey Paul J. Bailey died Thursday morning at his home in Florida at the age of 79. Many friends and relatives attended the funeral in Florida, as seen in these photos. Bailey rode from 1944 to 1968 and won many memorable races such as the Travers Stakes, the Gardenia Handicap, and finished second in the 1951 Kentucky Derby. We'll miss you, Paul. And in the NBA, Michael Jordan silenced critics once again, such as Mace Thomas, on Saturday night. Jordan raked in nearly half the Wizards' points with 41, but to no avail as the Wizards got beat by the New Jersey Nets 102-95. As seen in this picture right here, Jordan has kept to his trademark as his tongue sticks out. But according to reports, the elderly Jordan is just imitating the way he eats cream of mushroom soup as he's spoon-fed by his wife. And in the I Think I Want to Choke You story of the day, Lauren Jackson of the WNBA Seattle Storm says she is unsure of returning to her team here in the U.S. A native Australian, Jackson stated that unless things improve in the world between now and then, she would simply be too scared to return, as she states. The U.S. is a target. For the majority of the audience who has never heard of Lauren Jackson, she was last year's #1 pick for the Storm. But to me, all she is a big pile. You know, Lauren, let's be realistic here. The arrogance that flows out of your mouth is enough to make me want to gag. We have thousands of professional athletes that compete every day to entertain millions and get paid millions for doing so, with little to any risk of being blown up by terrorists. And I'm talking about exciting sports like football, baseball, men's basketball. Do you think that the WNBA is on the priority list of the terrorists around the world? Now, I know some might hope for that, but that's just not the case. Lauren, you're hurting your team with your pretentious attitude, and you need to get back to work and get paid, just like everyone else in this country has done. And that's all for Rant Down the Line. I'm Scott Smith.
For those of you who haven't been tested enough lately, after the break, Josh is going to quiz you on what exactly a face mask is. Stay tuned for the rest of the rant. Brought to you in part by D&B Mini Warehouses, located on 1560 West Searcy Street. They have 33 units of space for you. 5x10s go for $20, 10x10s go for $30, and you can buy for just $40 a 10x20. Call Doug Anderson at 742-3254. D&B Mini Warehouses, local people serving the local community.
I know what's going on here. You don't really want me to live with you. I'm his mother, not yours. You wish someone else was stuck with me. That would be more convenient for you, wouldn't it?
People often imagine the worst when you don't tell them you really care. Talk to the ones you love.
And welcome back to The Rant. We're here in the studio. This is Hannah Davidson, my sister. She's going to be answering the Sports IQ question. Hannah, the question is, what is a face mask? Now, before you answer, let's go ahead and find out what some of your friends and peers had to say.
What is a face mask?
It's the thing that goes over the face of a football player or a hockey player or a lacrosse player to guard their face from getting hurt.
Okay, good. All right, what is a face mask in sports?
In sports?
Yes.
Like football?
Yeah.
Well, it covers your face. What do you
Okay. Okay, what is face masking? Just an educated guess, maybe.
Face masking. Putting a mask on your face. Although I'm pretty sure it has something to do with football.
What is face masking?
Face masking is a football term, I believe, and it's whenever you grab the person's mask and
Okay,
pull
yeah.
it down.
Okay, Andrea, what is face masking?
Face masking? Something to do with hockey?
Okay, what would it have to do with hockey? Just a guess.
Face masking. Maybe like hitting somebody in the face with a stick.
Yeah, that's a good answer. All right, what is face masking?
Grabbing someone's face mask?
What sport do you think it has to do with?
Football?
All right, good, exactly right. All right. Okay, what is face masking?
Is that like in football when somebody like grabs your mask?
That's exactly right.
No
Good try,
way.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right. All right, what is a face mask?
A face mask?
Yeah.
Well, in some sports, I guess it's just the thing over your face. In football, it can be I don't know, something you did wrong. You can't grab someone's face mask. They name that a face mask.
Yeah, good job. All right, he's a bench warmer, but I'll ask him anyway. What is a face mask?
A face mask?
Yeah.
It's when the opposing player grabs the person's face mask and pulls them and jerks them and, you know.
Pulls them and jerks them.
They don't really have to pull them and jerk them. Just grab it, really.
All right, yeah.
That's what a face mask is.
All right.
I know, even though I said the minute.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason.
Hey, no problem. Anytime.
Okay, what is a face mask?
That's the thing that goes over the guy's face in baseball.
And what is a face mask?
It's a protective gear that you wear while you're playing sports.
What sport?
Basketball.
During basketball. So you'd use a face mask in basketball.
To protect your nose when you break your nose.
Oh, like Bill Laimbeer type stuff. All right, do you know who Bill Laimbeer is? Not a clue.
No.
She's agreeing with me anyway, though. All right. What is a face mask?
A face mask is what a hockey player has over their face to keep their teeth from falling out during a game.
To keep what a hockey player has over his face to keep his teeth from falling out. All right.
It like protects his face.
Okay. All right. If I told you it was a call, like a certain call in football, what would you say it is? Besides keeping their teeth in.
Keeping their teeth in is all I can think of.
Okay. All right. What is a face mask?
A face mask? Is it a mask that goes over your face in a game?
In a game? What game?
Let's see, catcher's mask is for baseball, face mask.
Okay. What if I told you it was a call, like a call in a sport?
Call?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What sport and what would it be?
Maybe basketball when the person's taking a shot and you go to block it and you put their. Never mind. Okay.
No, that's close. So in basketball when they're taking like a shot and you put their hand in your face, like show me.
Like
what
you
would
do
you
like that?
Like that?
When you go to block or something. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
All right, well, a couple of those were right. A couple of them, well, a lot of them were wrong. But what do you think, Hannah? What is a face mask?
I think a face mask is something you apply to your face to get rid of blemishes and discolorations, maybe, periodically.
Yes, you see, our sports knowledge runs in the family. Actually, that's wrong, but that's okay. I still love you as a sister. A face mask could be in football. It's a penalty. It could be in hockey. It's what the goalie wears not to get hit. It's in lacrosse. It's many different things. Most people know it as something that protects the face. But Hannah, thanks for coming in and trying out.
Yes.
If you'd like to come in and try out, you can email us at therant16@hotmail.com. Get a hold of us, and we will make sure you get a chance to come into the studio, stand or sit with me like Hannah's doing right now, and answer the Sports IQ question. Hey, don't go away. Here comes the 2-minute warning.
It's now time for the 2-minute warning. I would say it's the most exciting part of the show because we have a time limit.
Invigorating.
Very good word, Bradley. Very good word.
You're good
As
at
I was
cooking.
saying, the 2-minute warning, we
Hopefully
each have
chicken
30
quesadilla
seconds to
is
spout
great.
off about anything in the sports world that we want to. 30 seconds, split up or multiplied 4 ways, makes 2 minutes. Hence, 2-minute warning. Josh, your 30 seconds starts now.
Now, let's start off with football. The Cowboys, where have you gone? Where have all the Cowboys gone? Gone to the hospital with Troy Aikman and concussions one by one. That's okay. It's okay because you're not America's team anymore, but the Yankees are, and the Yankees are going to win. Win 4, please, so I can gloat to my friends Brad Bellamy and my friend, Mace Thomas and my friend Jeremy Writt, because they don't think the Yankees are going to be able to do it. But I know they can do it, and guess who else I know can do it? Michael Jordan. Just kidding. He's got arthritis. See ya next week.
Hey, let me tell you, time out, Josh. I'm a Yankees fan. I think the Yankees will take it. I got me a Yankees jersey. It's not the right color, but forget Brad. He doesn't know anything. He's not smart. Anyway, fact of the matter, St. Louis Rams, the future America's team. No, they're not the Cowboys. Troy Aikman's gone. It's all about the Kurt Warner era, the Marshall Faulk era, and the Trung Candidate era, coming off of the bench for Marshall Faulk to put it down, 3 touchdowns. That is how St. Louis does it, the most explosive team in football.
Josh, I never said the Yankees wouldn't do it. I said, unfortunately, they will do it. I'm sick and tired of the New York Yankees, just like I was sick and tired of the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. Bud Selig, do something about it. Disband Yankees. Get rid of them all. Get George Steinbrenner to hire guys off the Kansas City Royals. Do something about it, please. Arizona, if there's any chance, Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, win.
Last week, and the Green Bay Packers dismantled the Ravens defense, and everyone said that Brett Favre was the Messiah. He is a scrub. Yes, he made great plays like this last year on this pass to Antonio Freeman, but that does not make him the greatest quarterback of all time. This week, case in point, this week, he threw an interception to Kylie Wong. Kylie Wong sounds like an extra from a Jet Li movie. He's whack, but he got an interception and returned it for a touchdown. Brett Favre is not the truth.
I jacked up Kylie Wong before. I was like,
He can't see me either. And speaking of people who cannot see me, in this time of great American pride, we're all waving our flags and we're saying, God bless America. The flag that you should be waving is the flag of the Union. That Confederate flag is ridiculous. It's a sign of treason. It's a sign of hatred. It's a sign of hate. We don't need to see that around. We need to be true Americans and be real with it. That's just my little aftertake. And as always, the views of myself and the guys on the show don't necessarily represent the views of Harding University. They are our personal opinion. That is my personal opinion. And you can give me your personal opinion by emailing us at therant16@hotmail.com. That is your way to get in touch with us here on the desk, and also Scott Smith, who has the Rant Down the Line. But anything you want to say, show ideas, how you thought we did on the show this week, just email us, tell us how you feel. You can even respond to something that you've heard us talk about here on the show this week. So the Rant16@hotmail.com. Thanks for tuning in to Rant. Make sure you tune in next week and every week, Thursdays, 5:30 and 11:30.
Here we go, baby. Let me get something.